Hello friends. What happens when air meets water? When a Libra man's charm and intellect collide with the deep, emotional tides of a Cancer woman's heart. This is not just a love story, it's a delicate dance between balance and emotion, reason and intuition, logic and feeling. Libra and Cancer. Two souls from very different elements, yet irresistibly drawn together like the moon pulls the ocean's waves. Let's explore the mysterious chemistry that binds them, the emotional storms they may face, and whether their connection can truly last a lifetime. After watching, if you'd like to support the channel, click the Thanks button right under this video or use the donation alerts link in the description. Your support really helps me keep creating. And of course, if you enjoy the content, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks so much for being here. Now let's continue. Chemistry. Initial attraction. At first glance, the Libra man and Cancer woman might look like two souls traveling in completely different directions, two notes from distant songs that somehow harmonize when played together. Libra, ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty, art, and refined affection, carries himself with an effortless sophistication. His presence isn't loud, it's magnetic. People turn when he enters the room, not because he demands attention, but because his aura hums with quiet confidence. His laughter, his gestures, even the way he listens, all feel polished, intentional, touched by an invisible sense of grace. There's something about him that suggests balance, a man who knows how to weigh both sides of a situation before choosing his words, a man who craves peace not out of weakness but because he understands the value of harmony. Cancer, ruled by the moon, moves through life differently. Her emotions are her compass. She doesn't just see the world, she feels it, the undercurrents, the unsaid words, the moods floating between people. She's the kind of woman who senses a friend's sadness before a single tear is shed, who reads the tremor in a voice the way others read text on a page. Her depth is oceanic, her warmth disarming, her sensitivity both her armor and her gift. There's mystery in her eyes, the kind of mystery that makes people feel seen and safe all at once. So what draws these two contrasting forces together? On paper, air and water don't mix easily. Yet when the Libra man encounters the Cancer woman, something inside him stills. He's captivated by her emotional honesty, by how she doesn't hide behind pretense or performance. In a world where he's used to graceful masks, she is raw truth, and it fascinates him. He's mesmerized by her empathy, the quiet way she absorbs the room, by how her kindness never feels forced. To him, she's the living embodiment of authenticity, a reminder that beauty isn't only in balance but also in depth. She, in turn, finds herself intrigued by him, not just by his charm but by the calm that radiates from him like sunlight through sheer curtains. His voice, his composure, his gentle humor, they soothe her like a lullaby she didn't know she needed. He becomes a mirror for her emotions, reflecting them back with understanding rather than judgment. She senses his ability to bring order to her waves of feeling, to steady her tides without demanding that she stop being who she is. In him, she sees a partner who can protect her without controlling her, who can lead with kindness instead of dominance. Their first meeting often feels like déjà vu, a sensation of familiarity that defies explanation. Maybe it's because Libra recognizes in Cancer a kind of emotional intelligence he's been unconsciously searching for. Maybe it's because Cancer senses that behind Libra's elegant demeanor lies a heart that craves tenderness. Whatever it is, their connection clicks instantly, as if two puzzle pieces finally found their fit. They talk, and the conversation flows effortlessly. Hours slip by unnoticed as they share thoughts about love, meaning, and what makes life beautiful. For a moment, the world outside dissolves. It's just them, floating in a shared bubble of curiosity and wonder. Yet beneath this dreamlike connection lies a subtle tension. Libra's air energy thrives on logic, structure, and fairness. He believes love should be balanced, two equals meeting in mutual respect. Cancer, on the other hand, swims in emotion. For her, love isn't a contract. It's a current, one that changes with tides, moods, and the phases of the moon. She seeks reassurance, warmth, a constant emotional presence. And sometimes, Libra's natural diplomacy, His tendency to smooth things over can make her feel unheard, even if that's never his intention. When Libra pulls back to analyze, Cancer feels abandoned. When Cancer clings tighter for comfort, Libra feels confined. It's a paradox. The more one reaches out, the more the other retreats, unless they learn to dance to each other's rhythm. The Libra man must realize that feelings aren't puzzles to solve but landscapes to explore. The Cancer woman must learn that silence from Libra isn't rejection but contemplation. If they meet each other halfway, their connection becomes a symphony of understanding rather than a tug-of-war of differences. And oh, the chemistry, it's unmistakable. There's a magnetic tension between them, a blend of curiosity and comfort that keeps them coming back for more. Libra's flirtatious elegance teases Cancer's shy sensuality out of hiding. Cancer's sincerity pierces through Libra's charm, revealing the vulnerable man beneath. Their eyes lock, and for a fleeting second, they both feel something ancient, as if they've known each other for lifetimes, as if their souls recognize each other's rhythm. Their connection is both cerebral and emotional. Libra stimulates her mind, Cancer awakens his heart. Together, they create an emotional intelligence that feels rare, almost divine. They might start with small talk, art, books, dreams, but soon their conversations drift into territory neither planned, childhood memories, fears, hopes for a future neither dared to imagine. Still, every spark holds potential for both warmth and burn. Their first disagreements can be confusing. Libra's need for rational discussion might feel cold to Cancer, while her moodiness may bewilder him. He wants to fix, she wants to feel. Yet even their conflicts carry chemistry, a tension that makes reconciliation tender, even addictive. When they make up, it's with sincerity and care. No ego, just a shared desire to understand. The beauty of their initial attraction lies in its complexity. It's not the blinding, fiery passion of impulsive love. It's something quieter, deeper, a connection built on intrigue, emotion, and unspoken understanding. It's the kind of chemistry that lingers long after they part ways, echoing in memories, in half-forgotten dreams, in the phantom warmth of a touch. For the Libra man, the Cancer woman becomes the muse who reminds him that harmony isn't found in perfection but in compassion. For the Cancer woman, the Libra man becomes the partner who shows her that love can be steady without being dull, peaceful without being cold. Their story begins not with fireworks but with candlelight, soft, glowing, intimate. It's a beginning written in the language of the moon and the wind, her tides and his breeze, two forces learning how to move together without erasing each other. And even though challenges await them, misunderstandings, emotional differences, the ever-shifting balance of give and take, that first spark remains unforgettable. It's the alchemy of intellect meeting intuition, of reason embracing emotion. The Libra man and the Cancer woman may start as opposites, but their souls recognize something eternal in each other, the promise of a love that could, with patience and grace, become something truly extraordinary. Emotional dynamics. This is where things get beautifully complicated, where logic meets feeling, where calm meets current, where the emotional heartbeat of the Libra man and Cancer woman begins to reveal its intricate rhythm. Their connection isn't just about affection. It's about navigating the tides of emotion and learning how two completely different emotional languages can create harmony instead of discord. Cancer, the zodiac's nurturer, feels emotions like weather patterns, constantly shifting, layered, and deeply tied to unseen forces. Her emotional world is not linear. It rises and falls like tides pulled by the moon that rules her. When she loves, she does so with a kind of devotion that consumes her whole being. She doesn't just offer love, she becomes it. Every glance, every gesture, every whispered word carries meaning. Her affection is a current that can both comfort and overwhelm. When she commits to someone, her heart becomes their sanctuary, a place of warmth, safety, and unconditional acceptance. But with such depth also comes vulnerability. Her sensitivity, her intuitive awareness of emotional nuance, means she can feel hurt even by small things, a change in tone, a delayed reply, a subtle withdrawal of attention. The Libra man, in contrast, is guided by air, by thought, balance, and reason. His emotions are steady, yet filtered through a lens of rational harmony. He wants peace, not passion that burns uncontrollably. His love is graceful, composed, more a carefully tended garden than a wild forest. He values fairness and understanding. His instinct when conflict arises is to analyze, not to absorb. When he feels emotional turbulence, his natural instinct is to step back and seek balance, to find the middle ground where calm replaces chaos. He doesn't avoid emotions out of indifference but out of a deep desire to maintain serenity, to keep love feeling like music rather than noise. Here lies the heart of their challenge. Cancer feels everything, too deeply for Libra's comfort at times. Her love language is emotional availability, his is intellectual empathy. When she senses distance, she wants to draw closer, to connect through shared vulnerability. When he senses emotional waves approaching, he instinctively steps back, needing air to breathe and think. To her, his space can feel like rejection. To him, her intensity can feel like pressure. This misunderstanding can create storms where neither intended harm. When Cancer retreats into her shell, not to manipulate, but to protect her tender heart, Libra often misreads it. He may think she's punishing him with silence or that something logical needs to be fixed. So he begins searching for solutions, trying to restore equilibrium with words or reason. But Cancer's emotions can't be reasoned with, they need to be felt. What she wants is presence, the quiet assurance that he's there, that he won't turn away from her waves but will learn to float beside her. For Libra, this is a challenge in vulnerability. He must learn that not everything broken requires repair, some moments only need companionship. His greatest emotional evolution happens when he stops trying to manage her feelings and instead meets them with empathy. He discovers that her depth isn't dangerous, it's anchoring. Her tears, her tenderness, her unguarded heart, these are not weaknesses but invitations into intimacy. They pull him out of his head and into his heart, where real love lives. And for Cancer, there's a lesson too. She learns that Libra's calm isn't coldness. His silence isn't indifference. His balance isn't detachment. It's how he loves, through steadiness, through a consistent presence that keeps their relationship from drowning in emotional tides. He may not always say the right thing in the heat of her emotion, but his devotion shows in quieter ways, in how he returns after arguments, in how he remembers the small details that make her smile, in how he protects peace because he values her happiness more than his pride. Over time, their emotional dynamic begins to evolve into something rare, a duet rather than a duel. Libra learns to move with the rhythm of Cancer's heart instead of resisting it. Cancer learns to breathe in Libra's calm instead of fearing it. Together, they create an emotional atmosphere that feels safe, gentle, and healing. Their differences stop being points of conflict and start becoming sources of balance. When she feels too much, he grounds her. When he feels too detached, she reminds him what passion feels like. In moments of harmony, their connection feels divine, the meeting of moonlight and morning air. Cancer's empathy becomes the balm that softens Libra's inner doubts. She reminds him that vulnerability isn't weakness but courage. Libra's diplomacy becomes her safety net, teaching her that peace isn't the absence of emotion but the art of feeling without losing balance. Of course, their journey isn't without storms. There will be days when Cancer's emotions swell too high for Libra to handle, when his attempts at rational dialogue sound like disinterest. There will be nights when she withdraws and he feels lost outside her walls. But with maturity, they learn the rhythm of each other's hearts, when to approach, when to pause, when to listen, and when to hold. What makes their emotional bond unique is its potential for growth. They are each other's emotional teachers. Libra shows Cancer that love doesn't have to hurt to be real. He teaches her that serenity can be just as passionate as intensity. Cancer teaches Libra that emotional expression isn't chaos, it's truth. She helps him see that peace without feeling is only silence, and that the greatest harmony includes a melody of raw, imperfect emotion. When they find that balance, something beautiful happens. The Libra man, once guarded by charm and diplomacy, begins to open up in ways he never expected. He starts to share his fears, his doubts, his unpolished truths. And the Cancer woman, feeling truly seen, blossoms even more deeply into her nurturing self. She becomes not just his comfort but his muse, the emotional home he didn't know he was missing. Together, they build a relationship where emotions are not problems to solve but stories to share. They talk through tears, they laugh after arguments, they hold each other through silences. Their love becomes a living dialogue between water and air, fluid yet free, deep yet light. In the end, their emotional dynamic becomes their greatest strength. It's not a perfect balance, it's a living, breathing ebb and flow, a dance between thought and feeling, vulnerability and understanding. It's where the Libra man's search for harmony finally meets its purpose in Cancer's depth, and where her ocean finally finds its shore in his steady heart. Their love, when nurtured with patience and compassion, doesn't just survive emotion, it thrives because of it. What began as complication becomes communion, and what once felt like contrast becomes connection. It's not about fixing each other, it's about learning to feel together. And that, perhaps, is the truest form of emotional harmony. Long-term compatibility. Can this pair go the distance? It's one of those questions that seems simple on the surface but hides entire oceans of meaning beneath it. The Libra man and Cancer woman, so different in their approach to love, must navigate a long road of understanding, compromise, and emotional timing if they want their connection to not just survive, but truly thrive. Longevity between these two doesn't come from luck. It's the art of learning, again and again, how to meet halfway between air and water, between thought and feeling, logic and intuition. In a long-term relationship, Libra seeks partnership in its purest form. To him, love is a collaboration, a shared rhythm of minds and souls. He wants someone to dream with, to plan with, to build a beautiful, balanced life. Decisions, in his world, are best made with fairness and open dialogue. He is happiest when both voices are equally heard, when peace rules over passion's chaos, when life feels orderly yet filled with gentle affection. For him, equality is not just an ideal, it's the cornerstone of love. Cancer, meanwhile, seeks something deeper, quieter, but no less powerful: security. Emotional, physical, spiritual security. She wants to feel protected, cherished, and seen for who she truly is. Respect is important, yes, but it's not enough. She craves tenderness, consistency, a sense that her partner's heart will always be a safe harbor, no matter how rough the tides of life become. To her, love is sanctuary, a home she can return to and never fear being turned away. Over time, these contrasting needs create both tension and growth. Libra's mind can drift into abstraction, always weighing, always considering. His need for fairness sometimes delays action. Cancer, ruled by the moon, feels those pauses as distance, a cold breeze through an open window. To her, hesitation can feel like rejection. She doesn't just want decisions, she wants devotion, gestures that reaffirm emotional closeness. When Libra takes too long to choose, she fears his heart might already be drifting. And when she expresses that fear through moodiness or withdrawal, he feels overwhelmed, suffocated by emotions he doesn't yet understand how to comfort. That's where balance, Libra's eternal keyword, becomes their salvation. He must remember that for Cancer, emotional reassurance is not a luxury but a necessity. A few simple acts, a thoughtful text, a steady touch, a sincere word, can transform her anxiety into trust. And she, in turn, must learn that Libra's detachment is rarely indifference. It's how he maintains clarity and peace. When she gives him space without guilt, he returns to her more open, more loving, more centered. Their long-term success depends on learning this dance of give and take, of ebb and flow. When maturity enters the equation, this couple can truly flourish. Libra's gift of structure helps Cancer feel secure. She knows what to expect, and that predictability allows her to blossom emotionally. He teaches her that not every emotional storm deserves a shipwreck, that love can be gentle, that calm can be beautiful. Cancer, in return, grounds Libra's airy restlessness. She reminds him that relationships aren't just built on ideals but on presence, shared dinners, late-night talks, quiet Sunday mornings. She gives him roots without clipping his wings, and that's a rare kind of magic. Together, they can build a life that feels like a masterpiece painted in both water and air. Libra brings beauty, art, and grace, the aesthetic sense that turns a house into a gallery of love. Cancer brings warmth, laughter, and emotional texture, the feeling that turns that gallery into a home. Their shared life is a delicate blend: candlelight over dinner, spontaneous trips that end with heartfelt talks, emotional honesty softened by humor and tenderness. They may disagree, but even their disagreements often end in reconciliation that deepens affection rather than erodes it. Still, longevity for these two doesn't happen overnight. This isn't a wildfire romance that burns bright and fades to ash. It's a slow bloom, a love that matures like wine, gathering richness with every passing year. They will go through seasons: the spring of fascination, the summer of passion, the autumn of adjustment, and the winter of reflection. Each stage brings lessons. Libra learns that love isn't about perfect balance but compassionate imbalance, the willingness to bend for the other. Cancer learns that love isn't about constant reassurance but trust, the quiet confidence that she's truly safe. They must both evolve. Libra has to face his tendency to overthink and to run from discomfort. He must understand that love sometimes demands messy honesty, not polite diplomacy. Cancer must face her tendency to overfeel, to let fear shape her reactions. She must learn to trust his steadiness even when it feels too quiet. If they do, their relationship becomes not just sustainable but transformative. They'll grow into better versions of themselves. She'll become more secure, he'll become more emotionally fluent. In their later years together, this partnership can resemble a well-conducted orchestra. Each knows the other's rhythm, when to lead and when to listen. Libra learns when to reach for her hand instead of reasoning his way through a disagreement. Cancer learns when to smile and let his calm carry her through a storm. Their home becomes a space of laughter, books, shared meals, and deep, knowing silence, the kind of silence that only exists between two people who no longer need to fill every moment with words to feel connected. But it takes time, patience, and above all, emotional honesty. Without those, the relationship may crumble under misunderstanding, his air dissipating her water, her waves drowning his breeze. With them, though, they become something rare. A couple that not only lasts but thrives because of their differences, not despite them. The Libra man learns to love with his heart as much as his mind. The Cancer woman learns to trust with her spirit as much as her emotions. Their love becomes a living proof that opposites don't just attract, they evolve each other. Libra's calm teaches Cancer peace. Cancer's devotion teaches Libra depth. They may start as student and teacher in turns, but over years, they become equals, two souls holding hands as they navigate life's changing tides. Their long-term compatibility isn't about perfection. It's about persistence, the quiet decision, every day, to choose understanding over pride, softness over stubbornness, connection over comfort. So yes, they can go the distance, but only when they understand that distance itself, emotional, temporal, or spiritual, is something they can bridge together, again and again. And when they do, when they've learned to move as one, their love doesn't just endure. It deepens, becoming the kind of story people whisper about, not because it was easy, but because it was real. Communication conflict resolution. Here's where the differences between the Libra man and the Cancer woman can either make or break them. It's the silent battlefield and the secret bridge, the place where misunderstanding is born and where deeper intimacy can grow if both are willing to listen not just to the words but to the intent behind them. For Libra and Cancer, communication isn't just about talking. It's about learning to translate between two emotional languages that seem foreign at first but, with time, can become fluent poetry. The Libra man is the zodiac's diplomat. His approach to communication is elegant, measured, and almost artful. Every word he speaks feels like it's been carefully polished to avoid offense. He prefers calm, rational discussions, where logic prevails and emotions are managed. To him, the ideal conversation is one where both sides feel heard, harmony is restored, and peace reigns. He'll often say what he believes will soothe rather than ignite. His voice rarely rises. His tone is soft, reassuring, laced with charm. Yet behind that serenity lies his greatest challenge. He sometimes mistakes peace for silence, believing that avoiding confrontation is the same as maintaining connection. Cancer, on the other hand, communicates with her heart first and her words second. Ruled by the moon, her emotional tides shape the rhythm of her expression. When she's happy, her speech is nurturing, filled with warmth, laughter, and care. When she's hurt, though, her words can turn sharp or retreat entirely into silence. She doesn't argue for the sake of winning, she argues because she feels unheard. To her, communication isn't about logic, it's about emotional validation. She wants reassurance, not explanations. She wants to feel that her partner understands, not just hear him say he does. Her emotional honesty can be overwhelming for some, but it's also what makes her love so authentic. Now, imagine these two in a disagreement. It might start with something trivial. A text Libra forgot to answer, a tone that sounded too flat, a conversation that felt too distant. For Libra, it's small, almost insignificant. For Cancer, it's a crack in emotional trust. To her, every small act of neglect echoes larger fears. Am I being ignored? Does he still care? She won't always say this outright. Instead, she'll withdraw into her shell, waiting for him to notice, hoping he'll chase after her. Libra, perceiving her withdrawal as unnecessary drama, tries to stay calm, but that calm feels cold to Cancer. He believes he's keeping the peace, yet she feels abandoned in silence. And so begins their cycle of misunderstanding, her emotional wave meeting his logical wall. Libra thinks she's overreacting. Cancer thinks he doesn't care. He uses reason to soothe, but reason feels sterile to her. She uses emotion to connect, but emotion feels chaotic to him. It's a pattern that, if unchecked, can turn affection into tension. The secret to breaking it? Vulnerability. True, unguarded vulnerability. When Libra learns to speak from his heart instead of just his mind, everything changes. If he can say, I didn't mean to make you feel alone, but I understand why you did, rather than, you're being too sensitive, he builds trust instead of distance. When he dares to express his own emotions, fear, insecurity, even confusion, Cancer sees his humanity, not just his diplomacy. She no longer feels like she's speaking to a polished wall of composure but to a man willing to meet her in the raw middle ground where feelings live. And when Cancer learns to communicate her needs without retreating or accusing, their connection strengthens even more. Instead of expecting him to read her silence, she learns to say, I need to feel closer to you right now, or, it hurts when you pull away. This simple honesty allows Libra to engage instead of defend. Her vulnerability invites his empathy. He feels safe responding emotionally because she's no longer communicating through storms. She's opening the door gently, inviting him in. Over time, their communication becomes its own kind of love language. Libra brings words of reason softened by affection. Cancer brings words of feeling shaped by awareness. Together, they find a rhythm where emotion and intellect coexist beautifully. Their arguments evolve from battles to dialogues, from blame to understanding. Libra learns that sometimes peace requires discomfort, that truth spoken tenderly is better than silence kept politely. Cancer learns that calm isn't coldness, that sometimes love sounds like listening quietly until the storm inside her passes. In this balance, they discover a rare kind of emotional intelligence. Libra begins to feel emotions not as disruptions but as signals, moments to connect rather than retreat. Cancer begins to understand that rational calm isn't rejection but a different kind of caring, one that keeps their bond from burning out under emotional heat. Their conflict resolution, when mastered, becomes almost graceful. They don't shout, they express. They don't retreat, they reach. Libra will be the first to extend an olive branch, perhaps with a soft apology or a gentle gesture, a text saying, I miss you, can we talk? Cancer, touched by his sincerity, melts quickly, her heart eager to reconnect. She forgives easily when she feels understood. In return, she teaches him to feel more deeply, to allow imperfection into their peace. Still, this evolution doesn't happen overnight. There will be moments when Libra hides behind charm instead of honesty, afraid that true emotions might disturb the harmony he values so deeply. There will be times when Cancer, hurt by his apparent coolness, lashes out or retreats into icy silence. But the longer they love each other, the more they begin to recognize these patterns for what they are, defenses, not truths. And with every reconciliation, their bond grows sturdier, their understanding richer. Eventually, their communication becomes almost intuitive. Libra learns to read the subtle shifts in her tone, the pauses that mean she's retreating, and he responds before distance can take hold. Cancer learns to interpret his silences not as indifference but as space, moments where he's finding the right words to love her better. What once caused conflict becomes a gentle rhythm, a silent understanding that words are only one form of connection between them. Their love becomes a conversation that never truly ends, one that flows through laughter, tears, pauses, and forgiveness. When they argue, it's not about winning, it's about returning to closeness. Their communication, once a battlefield, transforms into their greatest strength. Libra's diplomacy becomes empathy, Cancer's emotion becomes wisdom. Together, they master the delicate art of balancing heart and mind. In the end, the Libra man and Cancer woman don't just talk, they understand. They listen not just to respond but to feel. They speak not to dominate but to connect. Their relationship becomes a quiet testament to what communication can be when shaped by love, not perfect, not always easy, but honest, kind, and deeply human. When air learns to breathe underwater, and water learns to trust the wind, something extraordinary happens. They don't just resolve conflict. They evolve together, word by word, silence by silence, heart by heart. Physical intimate connection. Let's talk chemistry, not the kind in textbooks, but the kind that hums in the air between two souls who just know they're drawn to each other. Between the Libra man and the Cancer woman, physical connection isn't just an act of attraction, it's a dance between emotion and elegance, between feeling and artistry, between the tides of the moon and the grace of Venus. What they share is something that feels old-world romantic, timeless, almost cinematic in its unfolding. Libra, ruled by Venus, approaches intimacy as an art form. For him, physical connection is not merely about passion but about aesthetics, about creating an atmosphere where both people can melt into each other's energy. He's sensual but never crude. His gestures are thoughtful, his movements deliberate, his touch a language of affection. He loves beauty in all its forms, the curve of a smile, the warmth of candlelight, the whisper of skin against skin. To him, seduction begins long before the lights go out. It begins with conversation, with the spark of eyes meeting across a room, with the slow build of emotional and intellectual tension. He's a master of anticipation, knowing that sometimes the sweetest moment isn't the kiss itself, but the few seconds before it. Cancer, guided by the moon's emotional tides, approaches physical connection from an entirely different, yet deeply complementary, space. For her, intimacy is sacred. It's not casual, not surface level, not something to be rushed. She feels it in her bones, her heart, her very soul. Every touch, every sigh, every heartbeat shared is a thread in the tapestry of trust. If she opens herself physically, it means she's opened herself emotionally, fully, vulnerably, unguardedly. Her sensuality isn't loud. It's deep, magnetic, nurturing. She doesn't seduce with flamboyance but with sincerity, with the quiet kind of warmth that makes her partner feel utterly safe, desired, and known. When these two meet in that space of shared vulnerability, something truly remarkable happens. Libra's desire to please aligns perfectly with Cancer's desire to nurture. Their chemistry is not explosive in a chaotic way. It's symphonic, waves and harmonies flowing into each other until you can't tell where one ends and the other begins. He reads her reactions with the intuition of an artist painting emotion onto a living canvas. She responds with emotion so raw and genuine that he feels, perhaps for the first time, that physical love can be spiritual. There's poetry in the way they connect. Libra's touch has intention, Cancer's response carries devotion. He brings the aesthetics, candles, soft music, clean sheets, gentle lighting. She brings the emotion, warmth, tears of happiness, and spoken gratitude. Together, they create intimacy that feels like both a song and a prayer. There's nothing hurried, nothing mechanical. It's slow, rhythmic, tender. They don't just make love, they express it, in a way that transcends words. But as with everything in their relationship, the balance is delicate. For this connection to thrive, emotional safety must come first. Cancer can only give herself fully when she feels deeply loved and secure. If she senses emotional distance, her body mirrors her heart. She closes off, retreats into her shell, becomes unreachable. She needs to feel wanted, cherished, chosen. If Libra forgets this and assumes physical affection alone can heal emotional rifts, he'll find her withdrawing, not out of coldness, but out of self-protection. Libra, in his quest for peace and beauty, sometimes shies away from heavy emotions. He wants every interaction, including physical ones, to feel harmonious. But intimacy isn't always light. It sometimes asks for vulnerability, for truth, for rawness that doesn't always fit neatly into the elegant framework Libra prefers. When Cancer's emotions surge, tears, confessions, intensity, he might instinctively retreat, mistaking it for chaos. What he must understand is that for her, this intensity is love. It's her soul speaking. When he learns to stay, to breathe through the waves instead of stepping back, he unlocks something extraordinary. Cancer, feeling truly safe, begins to show him the depth of affection few will ever experience. She teaches him that touch can heal, that closeness can be a language of reassurance. In return, Libra teaches her that intimacy can be gentle, that passion doesn't need to roar to be real. He turns what might be overwhelming into something graceful. Their physical bond, when nurtured, becomes both grounding and elevating. Libra brings creativity and elegance, Cancer brings depth and emotion. Together, they discover that true intimacy isn't about perfection but presence. Some nights are laughter and lightness, playful teasing, stolen kisses, slow dances in the kitchen. Others are quiet, tender, and sacred, lying together in silence, tracing memories on each other's skin, finding solace in shared warmth. They communicate through touch as much as through words. Libra's fingertips, always curious, trace the outline of her emotions. Cancer's hands, gentle yet sure, remind him that love can be soft and strong at once. He teaches her to open her heart to sensuality without fear. She teaches him to open his to feeling without pretense. In long-term intimacy, they continue to evolve. Libra's need for variety and aesthetic stimulation keeps their passion fresh. He's always introducing something new, whether it's a romantic setting, a slow dance, or whispered compliments that make her blush. Cancer's emotional intuition ensures that every physical encounter feels meaningful, not routine. She can sense his mood before he even speaks it, adjusting the rhythm of her affection to match his inner state. But the beauty of their connection isn't just in passion, it's in healing. Their physical closeness becomes the space where they repair misunderstandings and rebuild emotional bridges. After an argument, a simple embrace can do more than words. For them, reconciliation often happens skin to skin, where Libra's calm and Cancer's warmth fuse into something forgiving and eternal. Still, there's a cautionary truth here. If Libra grows too focused on appearances, on maintaining an image of perfect romance, he risks losing authenticity. Cancer, sensitive as ever, will feel the difference immediately. She'll sense when touch becomes performance rather than emotion. For their intimacy to remain alive, it must stay real, vulnerable, imperfectly human. She must trust that he loves her not just when she's graceful, but when she's raw and emotional. He must trust that she won't drown him with her feelings but cradle him in them. When they find that equilibrium, their connection transcends the physical. It becomes soulful, a wordless dialogue between two energies that understand that love is both art and emotion, rhythm and stillness, fire and calm. Libra's body becomes the brush, Cancer's becomes the canvas. Together, they paint something eternal. Their passion doesn't explode, it flows. It deepens, it matures, it becomes the heartbeat of their relationship, steady, comforting, and endlessly renewing. Years later, even after routine and familiarity have set in, their intimacy still feels sacred because it's built on truth. It's not just about desire, it's about recognition, two souls remembering, over and over, that they belong. So yes, their physical and intimate connection can be extraordinary, but only if they protect it with honesty, empathy, and trust. When Libra stays emotionally present and Cancer stays open-hearted, their chemistry becomes the kind that feels less like infatuation and more like devotion. It's not fiery and fleeting, it's timeless and true, a living poem written on skin and sealed with understanding. Shared values, life goals. At their core, Libra and Cancer both dream of harmony, they just define it differently. This difference in definition is what makes their relationship both challenging and fascinating. It's like two artists painting the same idea of happiness, one using watercolor, the other oil, different techniques, same vision. And when they learn to blend their palettes, the picture they create together is breathtaking in its depth and beauty. Libra, ruled by Venus, envisions life as a work of art. His values are shaped around balance, fairness, aesthetics, and the pursuit of inner and outer beauty. He believes that life should feel good and look good, that the environment, the people, and even the energy of a home should radiate harmony. For Libra, peace isn't just the absence of conflict, it's a lifestyle. He craves cooperation, partnership, and a shared sense of purpose. When he dreams about the future, he sees it as a series of graceful moments, shared meals filled with laughter, intelligent conversations, mutual respect, and love that flows easily. He's idealistic, sometimes to a fault, always chasing equilibrium even when life demands chaos. Cancer, guided by the moon, values something far more intimate but no less profound: emotional security, family, belonging, and genuine connection. Her dream isn't about the perfect setting but about the perfect feeling. She longs for a home that feels safe, where love isn't conditional, where she can nurture and be nurtured. She finds joy in the simple rituals, cooking together, holding hands through silence, sharing a look that says we're okay. To her, harmony isn't about symmetry, it's about emotional closeness. She doesn't need perfection, just honesty. And yet, when Libra and Cancer come together, their seemingly different dreams begin to weave into one larger tapestry of shared meaning. Libra's vision gives their love structure, elegance, direction, and social grace, while Cancer's vision gives it soul, warmth, and heart. He decorates the walls, she fills the home with love. He brings people together, she makes them feel cared for. He reminds her to open the curtains and let the world in. She reminds him that true beauty is found within four walls, not in the approval of others. At first, their definitions of success may seem mismatched. Libra might dream of a life filled with travel, beautiful surroundings, and engaging social circles, the kind of lifestyle that feels refined and balanced. Cancer might crave stability, a cozy home, children, a garden, a sense of rootedness. He looks outward, seeking harmony in the world. She looks inward, seeking harmony in the heart. But once they learn to respect these differences instead of trying to change them, their goals begin to complement each other. He teaches her the value of lightness, that not every situation needs emotional gravity, that joy can exist without depth sometimes. She teaches him the value of depth, that not every form of happiness is visible or graceful, that sometimes love is messy, raw, and gloriously imperfect. Together, they form a partnership that honors both the aesthetic and the emotional, both the outer world and the inner world. Their shared values ultimately revolve around love, loyalty, and peace. Both are romantics, though they express it differently. Libra shows love through gestures, flowers for no reason, handwritten notes, thoughtful surprises that make ordinary days feel cinematic. Cancer shows love through devotion, caring for her partner when he's tired, cooking his favorite meal, holding him when words fail. They both believe that love is sacred, that connection is the essence of a good life. Libra brings social charm to their shared existence. He's the one who smooths over conflicts at family dinners, who ensures everyone feels welcome. Cancer brings emotional wisdom, reading between the lines, knowing when someone's smile hides sadness. Together, they create a home and life that others admire, not because it's perfect, but because it feels real. Visitors to their home might not be able to name what's so special about it, but they'll feel it, a rare combination of comfort and refinement, laughter and serenity. Over time, they start to blend their dreams into something mutual. Libra begins to appreciate the beauty of simplicity, realizing that a quiet night at home with the person he loves can be as fulfilling as any glamorous party. Cancer learns that beauty and order aren't superficial but can be forms of love, that a well-set table, a planned date, or a lovely outfit are all expressions of care. They begin to find joy in each other's worlds, meeting halfway between intimacy and elegance. Yet this harmony doesn't come without effort. They must navigate differences in priorities. Libra, ever the social being, might crave external engagement, friends, gatherings, adventures. Cancer, in her instinct to nurture, might prefer intimacy over exposure. If Libra spends too much time outwardly focused, she can feel neglected, left behind. And if Cancer becomes too inwardly focused, he can feel emotionally restricted. The balance they seek is found in respecting each other's rhythms, giving space without disconnecting, offering closeness without smothering. In building a life together, their values start shaping tangible goals. Libra might be drawn to careers or pursuits involving communication, design, diplomacy, or art, places where he can express beauty and fairness. Cancer often gravitates toward caregiving roles, creativity, or home-centered endeavors, fields that let her pour her heart into nurturing others. Together, they can build something both meaningful and beautiful, perhaps a home that doubles as a creative sanctuary, or a shared business that combines Libra's vision with Cancer's sensitivity. Financially, their approaches differ. Libra spends for beauty and experience, Cancer for security and stability. But even here, they can find middle ground. Libra teaches her that money can be used to create joy, not just safety. Cancer teaches him that planning ensures their joy lasts. With mutual respect, they become a team that thrives not on sameness but on complementary energy. What's truly remarkable is how their shared values deepen over time. In their youth, Libra may chase ideals and appearances, while Cancer may cling to comfort and familiarity. But as they mature together, their priorities align more closely. They begin to realize that what they've both always wanted was the same thing: peace, love, and connection, just expressed in two different dialects. He learns that real beauty is emotional depth. She learns that real security can exist in openness and trust. In friendships and family life, they become anchors for others. Their relationship becomes a model of gentle strength, proof that love doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. People are drawn to their calm, to the way they complement one another effortlessly. Libra handles diplomacy, Cancer provides compassion. Their shared circle benefits from their balance. He offers reason when emotions run high, and she offers empathy when reason falls short. When they face life's inevitable challenges, illness, loss, or uncertainty, their shared values sustain them. Cancer's loyalty keeps her grounded by his side, and Libra's optimism keeps hope alive. She reminds him that feelings matter even in crisis. He reminds her that light still exists even in darkness. Their combined resilience creates a life philosophy rooted in grace and empathy. In the end, their shared life goals can be summed up in one beautiful truth: both seek love that lasts. Not the fleeting, passionate kind that burns out, but the steady flame that warms through seasons. Libra wants a love that's fair, equal, and beautifully balanced. Cancer wants a love that's safe, deep, and enduring. When they merge those dreams, they build something extraordinary, a relationship that feels like home and heaven at once. They may have to compromise, Libra learning to appreciate emotional depth over aesthetic perfection, and Cancer learning to embrace social balance over emotional solitude. But when they do, they become one of those couples others admire quietly, the kind that radiate peace without trying, that show love not in grand gestures but in everyday kindness. Two souls, one harmony. Two halves of a whole, one shaped by Venus, the other by the moon, together creating a world where love looks beautiful and feels even better. Final thoughts. So, what happens when Libra air meets Cancer water? You get a love that's both a challenge and a gift. A connection that teaches balance, how intellect meets intuition, how grace meets depth, how beauty meets heart. They are different, yes. But it's in their differences that they find meaning. Libra shows Cancer that peace is possible even in chaos. Cancer shows Libra that true love is felt, not reasoned. If they're patient, understanding, and willing to grow, this pairing can be one of the most transformative in the zodiac. A love that doesn't just look good, it feels good. A love that evolves from fascination into forever. Because sometimes, when the moonlight touches the air just right, magic happens, and Libra and Cancer find themselves exactly where they were meant to be, in each other's arms.